Okay. I don't, yes. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be talking with Jennifer, who is from America and she's been working in South Korea for about 6 years now.
Yes.
So Jennifer, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about your story?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jennifer, 40 years old. I've lived in Korea I'm in my 6th year being a teacher, and I just love it. I love everything about it. I left corporate America to come here and never looked back.
Wow. And what made you decide to come to Korea?
I was at a point in my life where I realized I was just unhappy. And I quit my job. I wasn't working, and my friend who lived here called and said, well, I think you'd be a great teacher. Why don't you move to Korea? And I said, okay, I'm not doing anything else. So I got my TEFL certificate and started the process and moved to Korea.
How did you apply to work here? Did you apply directly through an agency?
So I did my TEFL certificate through a company that actually offered like a college-style course for your TEFL, and they offer job placement assistance to any country you want to move to. So they introduced my resume to their group of recruiters. They were taking too long, so I also found myself, I went on and looked for recruiters in Korea and sent my resume out on my own. The recruiters do all the work for you. They send you the job posting and you can say yes or no, and they set up the interview for you, and they're aware of the time change. So it was really easy. I just had to show up in front of my computer and interview.
Wow.
And I did 3 interviews before I took my first position. My first position was actually here in this town.
Oh, really?
And so I love Yulha so much that I've never left. I don't plan on moving anywhere else in
so you've
Korea.
been 6 years in Yulha?
Yeah, because I love the small town atmosphere. And I just, if I want a big city, Busan is so close, and
that's true.
You can jump on a train really easily and get to Seoul.
It's like where you're from in America, right? It's in the center.
Yes, exactly. But you don't have like the busy, loud, like city life. You have a nice, like quiet, small town.
Nature, mountains.
Yes, our beautiful streams that I walk by every day. And then if I want that big city, it's pop down for a weekend, or it's so easy.
Convenient.
Yeah.
How has your experience been with the students in Korea, and if you want to compare it to American students?
I love teaching English as a second language. Part of it is so rewarding. My first day of teaching was my first day on the job. Like, I never set foot in a classroom before I moved here. But when you're teaching English as a second language to these, I teach children, and I don't think I could teach adults because I don't think the daily rewards would be as great for myself. But watching their little faces when they realize that they understand what you're saying. Like, one of the first things you talk about is like, when I talk about pizza, and pizza, I know that. Like, she's speaking, like, when they're little, they just light up when they make this worldly connection that something in their life that's Korean, but they understand. It's like watching them learn it's so rewarding, and they're so like, they love you so much, and they tell you that they love you, and I love it. Where I think, and then here teachers are respected. I feel like I get asked my opinion. They don't always take it, obviously, like, still a job, but the employers want to know how the teachers feel about stuff. And I feel like in America, there's just not that much respect for the teachers. And then I'll be honest here, the compensation is so much more worth it. With the visa that I'm on, I don't know if everyone from Balkan is the E2 visa. Your housing is included, so there's no rent. So I get paid a good wage, and I don't pay rent, so that's like extra money every month. Yeah, it's fantastic. And having the amazing public transportation here, the buses, and the trains, and the subways, you don't need a car. You can get anywhere you want pretty easily.
Is it better than in America?
It's better than where I'm from in California.
Okay.
We don't have trains in California. There's a few states that have good subway systems or things like that. We don't in California. And there's buses, but they're not always the most reliable. Where here, if you want to go somewhere, you know your bus is going to show up with sometimes early, sometimes late, but the bus is coming.
Okay.
And it's really easy with all the apps, with all the access to find out when it's coming, where it's coming. I find it so easy to get around without a car.
How about the culture here? How was it for you, the first time that you came?
I have been in love with Korean culture since I moved here. And I definitely hear people that struggle when they first move. But for me, I found that if you're humble when you approach people in interactions, Korean people just want to help. But if you come into an interaction assuming that they're going to help you in English, there's a fear of using English because part of the Korean culture is a fear of being wrong, of making a mistake. So, but I always found that when I go to a cafe or a coffee shop, when I walk in, I always try to say 안녕하세요, and I show that I'm nervous about using Korean, and I show I'm not good at Korean, and I show my nervousness, and everyone wants to help me.
Okay.
And I love it so much. And I try to there's people who come in and they're just they just start speaking in English. I'm you're assuming that they understand we're in Korea.
You're very respectful.
Yes. And if you show that, then everyone wants to help. And the food. I don't Korean food.
Yeah.
So good.
What is your favorite Korean dish?
My favorite Korean dish is dakgalbi. So it's the big chicken.
I had
yes. So good. Oh my gosh. And gamachi tondok.
What is
tondok is the whole fried chicken.
Oh.
Right? So they butterfly the whole chicken and they double fry it.
Ooh. Haven't had that.
Oh. But it will change your life. If you like fried chicken,
okay,
it's a whole chicken. So you'll walk by and you'll see them, they're just lined up, the chickens in the window.
I've seen that.
They've been fried once, and then you order it and they fry it again, so it gets super crispy. Oh my God.
And then you just take it out.
Yeah, highly recommend it.
Okay. What are some of the best experiences that you've had in Korea, either with traveling or in your working environment?
I'll be honest, one of the best things that I've done, and now I've done it twice, but baseball games are so much fun. Obviously, coming from America, baseball games are America's pastime.
Yes.
But there's these rules at American baseball game about cheering and being loud, and you don't do it when certain things are happening. In Korea, it's not that way. Everybody's cheering all the time. But also, the teams are evenly matched here, so you're watching an evenly matched baseball game, but the atmosphere is great. Everyone's having a good time. One of the other things I find great about Korea is when you go to functions like that, you can bring outside food and drink. In American culture, it doesn't matter. When you go to the movies, you can't you can't bring anything from anywhere else. And when you go somewhere like that, the prices are sky high because you're a captive audience and they want you to pay their exorbitant prices. In Korea, it's not about that. You can go to baseball games, you can go to the movie theater. Anywhere you go, you can bring your own food and drink.
Oh, really? Even to the movies?
Yeah.
Even in South Africa, you can't really.
Yeah.
Just sneak it.
Right? And the prices of things, even when you're there, they're a little bit higher because you're obviously they're obviously paying for prime real estate, I guess, right, being there, but they're not that much higher. If you bought a whole chicken here, it's 7,000, and you go to the stadium and it's 10,000. It's this huge gap.
Yeah.
And also, just to be clear, a beer is only 4,000 won in the stadium. For me in America, if you go get a beer at a stadium, it's $10 for a tiny beer.
I really try to get the most out of it.
Exactly. Right? And here you get a full size, a big pint, and it's 4.
I will join you next time.
Okay. We will go again, I promise.
What are some of the worst experiences that you've had?
Some Some of the worst experiences that I've had, the experiences that I've had that have been bad, there is this this panic that happens for Korean people who don't know English when they see a foreigner.
Okay.
And like they don't know what to do, so they almost stop listening, because I can now communicate a little bit in Korean,
Yes.
but I'm a foreigner, so they're panicked. They've shut off and they're not listening to that I'm speaking Korean, and then it's this, sometimes it's just difficult.
So like frustration and bad communication.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can see where if you're not prepared for the frustration, or if you also get frustrated, it could be even worse.
Make it worse, yeah.
It could be even worse.
Okay.
And also, there is a generational judgment. There's the older generation here in Korea is not always as open to the foreigner community. It feels like they're yelling at you, but I don't actually know, because I don't always know what they're saying.
Oh, you're so. I like how you take it with that attitude. You know, some people immediately will take offense. You know, if they think it sounds like angry, but
you know, and there's something that doesn't bother me, and I think partially because it was something I dealt with even in America, but people stare at you here.
That's true.
We're sparkly here. You know what I mean? So you're walking down the street and people are just staring at you. I've always been a larger person, so I've always been stared at anyway. Okay. So it wasn't something that bothered me, but so many people, because when you live and work here, people come every year. There's this rotation of people, because not everybody stays longer than their contract. And every time there's new people, they're always like, oh, people are staring at me. It's like, well, you only know they're staring at you because you're looking at them. Go about your day, go about your life, and like be stared at. Or flip your hair. No, you look awesome today, and go with it. Like, there's no offense. Nobody means any offense. You look different than most people on the street, so they're looking at you.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for part 2, which will be dropping very soon.